In the heart of ancient Egypt, where the towering pyramids and majestic temples stand, there lived a unique pharaoh, a person who revolutionized Egyptian history. His name was Akhenaten, a man who challenged traditions and brought a new vision to the world. But did you know he was called the Hermaphrodite Pharaoh? Was he really like that? Let's dive deep into this mysterious story. Akhenaten was one of the most famous pharaohs of ancient Egypt. His reign marked a significant departure from the traditional norms and practices that had been in place for centuries. Born in 1386 BC, Akhenaten ascended to the throne during a period rife with conflicts and deeply entrenched traditions. His rule is often remembered for its radical changes and the controversies that followed. He was born in 1386 BC and became the ruler of Egypt during a time filled with conflicts and long-established traditions. Akhenaten's early years as a ruler were marked by his efforts to consolidate power and establish his authority. However, it was his later actions that truly set him apart from his predecessors. What set Akhenaten apart was his attempt to change everything, starting with religion and extending to the structure of governance. He introduced a series of religious reforms that were unprecedented in ancient Egyptian history. Akhenaten's vision was to transform the religious landscape of Egypt, moving away from the traditional polytheistic beliefs that had been the cornerstone of Egyptian society for millennia. He believed that the sun god Aten was the only god worthy of worship, a belief that led to the establishment of Atenism. This new monotheistic religion was centered around the worship of Aten, the sun disk, which Akhenaten proclaimed as the supreme deity. This radical shift not only altered the religious practices of the time, but also had profound implications for the political and social structures of ancient Egypt, which led him to establish a new religion at a time when polytheism was the norm. The introduction of Atenism was met with resistance from the traditional priesthood and the general populace, who were deeply rooted in their polytheistic traditions. Despite the opposition, Akhenaten persisted with his reforms, even going so far as to build a new capital city, Akhenaten, dedicated to Aten. His reign, though short-lived, left an indelible mark on the history of ancient Egypt, and his legacy continues to be a subject of fascination and debate among historians and scholars today. But Akhenaten wasn't alone on this exciting journey. His beautiful wife Nefertiti stood by him in this monumental change. Nefertiti, who possessed charm and beauty beyond description, played a significant role in supporting her husband's new religion. Some even believe she was a co-ruler and held a lot of power in governance. Together they formed an unconventional duo in the history of the pharaohs. Akhenaten, in his desire to implement his new religion, founded a new city called Akhenaten, where the Aten temple was the spiritual center of Egyptian life. There, the worship of the sun god began to dominate beliefs, and other deities became less significant. This temple marked a critical turning point in ancient Egyptian history, as many traditional practices were abandoned. But what about the way Akhenaten was depicted in art? This question has intrigued historians and archaeologists for decades. Akhenaten, the pharaoh who ruled during the 18th dynasty of ancient Egypt, is one of the most enigmatic figures in history. His reign marked a significant departure from traditional Egyptian norms, not only in terms of religion and politics, but also in artistic representation. He was shown in numerous statues and reliefs in a way that was very different from other pharaohs. Unlike his predecessors and successors, who were often depicted with idealized muscular physiques and stern expressions, Akhenaten's images present a more androgynous figure. This departure from the norm has led to much speculation about the reasons behind such portrayals. Akhenaten was often portrayed with softer features, and his hair was long, pulled back in an unconventional way, which was quite different from the traditional depictions of pharaohs. His face appears elongated, with full lips and a delicate jawline, almost effeminate in nature. This has led some scholars to suggest that Akhenaten may have had a medical condition that influenced his appearance, such as Marfan syndrome or Froelich syndrome, which made him appear distinct from other kings who were usually shown with short or neatly styled hair. The traditional image of a pharaoh was one of power and authority. often depicted with a strong, muscular build and a commanding presence. In contrast, Akhenaten's softer, more delicate features set him apart and have led to various interpretations of his reign and personality. Additionally, some researchers uncovered a unique trait in Akhenaten and his family, which further adds to the mystery surrounding this pharaoh. The depictions of Akhenaten, his wife Nefertiti, and their children often show them with elongated skulls, a feature that is not commonly seen in other royal families of ancient Egypt, where they had elongated skulls. This peculiar trait has sparked numerous theories, ranging from genetic disorders to deliberate artistic choices meant to symbolize their divine status. Some researchers believe that the elongated skulls were a result of cranial deformation practices, while others argue that it was a natural genetic trait. These elongated skulls, which also appeared in depictions of his wife Nefertiti and daughter, have led to much debate among historians and archaeologists. Some suggest that the elongated skulls were a way to distinguish the royal family from the common people, emphasizing their unique and divine nature. Others believe that it could be a result of inbreeding within the royal family, which was a common practice in ancient Egypt to preserve the purity of the bloodline, made them look different from the rest of the royal family. This distinct appearance has led to various interpretations of Akhenaten's reign and his family's role in ancient Egyptian society. Some scholars argue that the unique depictions were a way to emphasize the divine nature of the royal family, setting them apart from the rest of the population. Others believe that it was a reflection of Akhenaten's revolutionary ideas and his desire to break away from traditional norms. This slight deformation in the skull shape may have been part of how they were depicted as special individuals, chosen by the gods to rule over Egypt. The artistic representations of Akhenaten and his family were not just about physical appearance, they also conveyed a deeper symbolic meaning. The elongated skulls and softer features could be seen as a way to emphasize their connection to the divine and their unique role in the cosmos. But some researchers also associate it with symbolic interpretations or even scientific theories about environmental or genetic factors. The debate over Akhenaten's appearance and its significance continues to this day, with new discoveries and theories constantly emerging. Some researchers believe that the unique depictions were a result of Akhenaten's religious reforms, which emphasized the worship of the sun god Aten and a more personal, intimate relationship with the divine. Not only Akhenaten, but also his family members were depicted similarly in art, which further emphasizes the unique nature of their reign. The consistent portrayal of the royal family with elongated skulls and softer features suggests that these traits were an important part of their identity and their message to the people of Egypt. It was a way to visually communicate their divine status and their special connection to the gods, which could symbolize a sense of softness and femininity. This departure from the traditional masculine image of a pharaoh has led to much speculation about Akhenaten's personality and his approach to leadership. Some scholars suggest that the softer, more feminine depictions were a way to emphasize Akhenaten's role as a nurturing, caring leader, in contrast to the more authoritarian image of his predecessors. These artistic representations led to him being called the Hermaphrodite Pharaoh, a term that reflects the blend of masculine and feminine traits in his depictions. This unique portrayal has led to various interpretations, with some suggesting that it was a way to emphasize Akhenaten's connection to both the male and female aspects of the divine. Others believe that it was a reflection of his revolutionary ideas and his desire to break away from traditional gender roles, as some saw these depictions as reflecting an unusual blend of masculinity and femininity. This blend of traits has led to much debate about Akhenaten's identity and his approach to leadership. Some scholars argue that the depictions were a way to emphasize his unique role as a mediator between the gods and the people, embodying both the nurturing, caring aspects of femininity and the strength and authority of masculinity. Others believed that it was a reflection of his personal beliefs and his desire to create a more inclusive, egalitarian society. In the end, Akhenaten remains one of the most controversial figures in the history of ancient Egypt. His reign marked a significant departure from traditional practices, and his attempts to shift the religious paradigm have left historians and archaeologists puzzled for centuries. Akhenaten's unique physical depictions in art, often showing him with elongated features and a rounded belly, have sparked debates about his true appearance and health. Was he truly a hermaphrodite? Some scholars suggest that his unusual portrayal might indicate a medical condition, while others believe it was a deliberate artistic choice to symbolize his divine nature. Or was he simply a pharaoh attempting to reinvent the beliefs of his era? Akhenaten's devotion to Aten, the sun disk, and his efforts to establish monotheism were revolutionary. This shift not only altered religious practices, but also influenced art, culture, and politics. History may not provide a complete answer, but we are the ones rewriting these stories. What do you think? The mystery of Akhenaten's life and reign continues to captivate us, inviting endless speculation and research. Was Akhenaten a revolutionary or just someone following a new path? His legacy is a testament to the complexities of history and the enduring quest for understanding. Share your thoughts in the comments. Your perspective adds to the rich tapestry of interpretations surrounding this enigmatic pharaoh. Let's continue the conversation and explore the many facets of Akhenaten's intriguing story.